I've been asked quite a bit lately about what's going on with Pro Tools First. It's been off of their website for quite a while now, so I did send an email to Avid to see what's going on with it. I didn't hear back from them, but I did find some bad news of what's going on with it right now, so we'll look at that, but I also want to look at why this might be a good thing for the future of a free Pro Tools First option. About a month ago, I was doing a video on making music with the included software that came with the Focusrite Scarlett Solo interfaces, and one of the free DAWs is Pro Tools First with the Focusrite Creative Pack. So I went to Focusrite's website to see if there was an update on that, because I did know that Pro Tools First has been down on the Avid site for a while, and when I got to the Focusrite site, there was something that said it was down for a bit as they were working on it, but it would come back. So I thought that's cool. Pro Tools First will be back. They're just working on it, making it better. However, when I've gone back again, it looks like Pro Tools First is discontinued. And this is also said on the Avid site now. It does say it's discontinued. So there is no more Pro Tools First at the time being. So thinking about a couple of reasons why this might be, one reason could be that Log4j hack and that whole mess that's gone on with that, because I do know with Pro Tools First, you have to be online to use it. So maybe that's a thing. I kind of don't think that is the reason. And here's what might be a good reason why they've discontinued Pro Tools First. Because this software is supposed to be your first introduction to Pro Tools. And as you probably know, Pro Tools First is limiting and there's absolutely no customer support for it. So not really a good first impression for somebody who's just getting into music making, and they're likely going to be pushed away from Pro Tools and not come back to it once they're a little more experienced in music production. So maybe this free offering that's supposed to be bringing in more people to Pro Tools might actually be turning more people away. Again, this is just me thinking out loud about this. It might not be the reason, but I'm sure this had to have been discussed by Avid at some point within their company. So Pro Tools First is dead right now. What does it mean if you already registered your Pro Tools First and you currently use it? Well, you can still continue using it. I've tested it. I can still use it. I can still record to it. I'm not too sure how long the cloud functionality will work for it, but it is working right now. And if you've registered it, but you haven't downloaded it or installed it on your computer yet, I've noticed that you still can go into your Avid account and download it and install it. So if you registered it and you were currently using Pro Tools First, or you wanted to use it and you did register it, you can continue to use the last version of Pro Tools First that they released. So here's me thinking positive about this situation. So Pro Tools First is dead. It's no more. But what if this makes room for another free Pro Tools offering? Maybe one that's not as limiting and more in line with their premium offering. Now, here's what I would propose as a free offering from Pro Tools that's going to get people excited about getting into Pro Tools right away and also keep them there as they get more experienced in music production. And what I would do is Pro Tools LE. This was a version of Pro Tools that a lot of us home studio users started out with, likely using an M-Box or a Digirac, something like that, and it worked. So here's what I recommend giving with Pro Tools LE. Well, I would limit the tracks to 16, which is a lot. So 16 tracks, and I would also allow for 16 buses. And that's quite a bit for somebody who's just getting into music production. They likely won't need more until they get a little further along. Also, I wouldn't limit the number of tracks that could be recorded at the same time. And if they do limit it, I would limit it at 8 tracks. That way, a drummer who wants to do a full drum kit mic setup, they could still do that in Pro Tools LE. Another change that I would make from the Pro Tools First model is to allow people to bring in their own AAX plugins into Pro Tools LE and still give those excellent standard Avid core plugins like compressors, the delay, the deverb, the EQs, and those types of standard plugins like that. I'm not talking about the Bomb Factory plugins. Those could be an extra add-on that somebody could pay for if they wanted, but allow people to bring in their own AAX plugins that they may have bought from another place, or maybe they got it for free, and don't limit them to only being allowed to purchase them from the Avid marketplace. So this is a more modern idea of Pro Tools LE. Of course, they could call it something else if they wanted, but the basic principle of the 16 tracks and allowing people to bring in their own plugins if they wanted to, I think it's going to entice people to use Pro Tools and get used to that excellent workflow that Pro Tools offers, and it's going to keep them in the program, and they'll likely purchase the subscription once they get more into music production. Now check out an excellent unlimited alternative to Pro Tools by clicking the video on the screen, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. For Audio Tech TV, I'm Zane. Keep creating, and we'll talk soon.